Thank you, Ambassador. Namaste. It gives me enormous pleasure to be in talking to you again. 41 men, home safe, no one injured. They were dancing for Diwali when they went in, and I always promised that they'd be home in time for Christmas to sing Christmas carols. And they're home early. It's an early Christmas. And I feel so honoured that India took me as an honorary father of some of 41 of your children, that I was able to extend the love that I would extend to my own children and play a role in bringing them home. The United Nations Sustainability Development Goal number 16 says, peace, justice, and strong institutions. That's India. And without the peace, the justice, and the strong institutions, this would not have been possible. I have never in my career seen such wonderful coordination between a federal government, state government, rescue agencies, the military, private entities, and volunteers. And it was that combined effort, that coordination, that goodness that flowed between the teams which made the difference between this rescue and its fantastic result, which I always believed we would do, and what often we hear. My message to the world is simple. You have just witnessed what good people do. You've just witnessed how good people can work together to achieve a noble outcome. You've just seen how good hearts can do the impossible. Please let that be the message around the world. This is a beacon of how good people, nice people, help each other, look after each other's children, and do great things. I'm very honoured to be here, and thank you for my morning tea.
Thanks very much, Professor. Now, we've got a few minutes before I need to get the Professor into the car. Are there any questions?
Arnold, what was the toughest point in the entire rescue? Because you were there, I was also there.
Yeah.
The entire operation was going on, and at a certain point in time, it felt that the American organization will be able to get through. So, any tough points that you would want to remember right now?
Look, it was constantly difficult, because what we weren't talking about, what we weren't sharing, was the minute-by-minute, second-by-second data that we were analysing on what the mountain was doing. And what we were doing was we were watching the mountain looking like it was going to collapse back on the side where we were performing the rescue. And in fact, the LiDAR drone operators here at this function, you might want to ask him about this. So we could see the mountain moving. And we'd also got the visual information from where the miners were, showing that it was collapsing there as well. So the toughest thing for us was to remain cool and not to rush, because we knew that if we acted without consideration, we could have triggered a second major landslide, jeopardising not only the 41 people on the other side, but all of us. This really was a rescue mission being conducted on tiptoes. And so when I would come and speak to you and I'd say, I'm confident, because I had a great feeling about it, that wasn't because this was easy. No, this is actually the hardest mission I've ever done. That was because I was confident with the way we were valuing life, the way we were all coordinating, the way everyone was getting on with the job, we could work through this. But it was seriously, seriously dangerous situation on both sides. Not just for the workers, all of us rescue people as well.
Sir, we saw your visuals of going to the temple nearby.
Yeah.
How much that gave you strength? And secondly, what message or lessons are learned that these incidences are not repeated again?
Two, I think, different questions. Firstly, the question you asked about the temple. Before I arrived here, I knew that this region was the most sacred area for the Hindu people. And I also knew that the purpose of this tunnel was to allow pilgrims to go between the sacred temples, the four sacred temples. So for me, there was no doubt at all that this mission the mission to rescue these tunnellers had an epic dimension to it. We've got a mountain that I thought was unhappy, and there was like a spiritual dimension to this, and this was part of it. But that didn't detract from the technical difficulty. To achieve our mission, we had to be focused and bring the best engineering to the table, which we did, because the best engineers from India were here, the best technologies were here, everything was here, and respectful. Have some humility. It's a Himalayan mountain. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. So humility and sensitivity and harmony with the mountain for doing the rescue. And then your second